so happy you could join us. We're both moms and dyslexia interventionists who want to talk about our students and children, what dyslexia is, how it affects our kids, strategies to help, and topics related to other learning disabilities will all be covered in this podcast. Parents are not alone. We want to give voice to the concerns and struggles we are all having. This is a safe place to learn more about how to help our children grow and succeed in school and the world. Grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the conversation.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 102 of Dyslexia and Coffee podcast. We're going to start today's episode like we do every single episode, which is with the concept of the week. So, the concept of the week is our opportunity as practitioners to kind of pull back that curtain a little bit and let everyone into an intervention session. We like to talk about things that either we would talk directly to our students about or educate their families about. So today's concept of the week is crossing the midline. I feel like this is a little bit of a buzz phrase, I guess,
Definitely, yes.
in education right now. And I just kind of want to pull it back and say what it actually is. So crossing the midline is the ability to move your hands, your feet, even your eyes, right? Track your eyes across the imaginary center line that divides your body into the left and right sides. This action really does help connect both sides of the brain. It requires both sides of the brain to work together in order to do it. It builds hand dominance and it improves reading and writing skills because you are crossing that midline. Any action where you cross right, left, and to right, or the opposite, is crossing the midline. It is a really important developmental milestone. So it is something that your pediatrician is going to ask you about when your kids are little. And it's an important developmental milestone and can be a good, useful tool to use paired with learning activities. It can kind of help cement some knowledge, but it's not a fix-all. That's a little bit of why I think it's kind of a buzz phrase right now.
Right.
So while really important, it's not something that's going to magically fix reading and writing issues.
Correct. So welcome to episode 102. Woo! Our interview with our summer occupational therapy student, Ashley.
Yay!
So welcome to our podcast, Ashley.
Thank you.
So Ashley is in her fieldwork, which is the end of her training of her occupational therapy degree. And so this is kind of the part right before graduation where she gets to apply all the knowledge she's learned throughout school. Yay!
Yay.
So let's talk a little bit about how you felt about being here this summer. So what kind of responsibilities or activities did you do with this fieldwork?
I think I did a lot. We did a lot of emotional regulation, task initiation, working memory. I feel like I've done a lot in such a short amount of time. That's what I would say. I've learned I learned so much that I think that is so important for me as I continue on my OT journey and even things that I can use in my day-to-day life. And I think that those things that I have taken at the Dyslexia Achievement Center is stuff that I could take with me like for years and years to come.
Oh, I'm really happy to hear that.
Thank you.
What were some of the things like that you really enjoyed, and what did you feel like were things that were a challenge?
So personally, I've always had a passion for kids. I feel like I was a nanny before I went to OT school, so I knew like, even though it wasn't a setting that I wasn't the most confident in, I was still pretty confident because I already had a history of kids. I'm one of five, so I understood the concept of like different emotions and different personalities and how every day could be different from a different like from another day, and just to, take it as it is and just keep moving with it. So I knew that me coming in to this placement and working with like kids specifically, I knew I would do well. But I think it was just making sure that I could really create a genuine relationship with them is like something I was worried about before coming here. I wanted to make sure that, you know, I could give the kids the care of service that they need while also making it very enjoyable, because this is something that they do in the summer. And, they could be doing a whole bunch of other things like going to camp, going outside and play every day. And they're choosing to spend their time here, whether it's because their parents made them to or just off their own volition. So I really was worried, like making sure that they always had like that good like activity center, like we call it client center in occupational therapy, making sure they always had that client centered goal and taking those skills with them and making sure that it really caters to what their needs are. And making sure it's like, they're, what's the word, that they're like, the we call them deficiencies are like still like, there, but we're still using them to show like light into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's really clear to anybody who's gotten the pleasure of working with Ashley this summer that connecting with kids is a real strength of yours. So
Yeah, definitely.
whether the rest of your career leads you into pediatrics or not, that's very clear.
Yes.
We know where we stand with some of the students we see. And Ashley is the preferred adult, that is for sure.
Yes, she is.
Yep, and there we go. And it's just,
Megan, I have been replaced.
we have definitely been replaced.
No, we can never replace you guys.
But it actually warms my heart to see the way kids, all the students that have connected with you this summer, have really connected with you, and
Yes.
and right away. And it's not because you're not asking them to work hard. You have challenged them and made them step up in a lot of ways, and they still have really connected with you. And I think that's awesome. It is a real special skill set, and
It is.
you have it.
Thank you. Those are my babies, so I'm glad.
So before coming to this fieldwork, what did you think this fieldwork would be like? This should be fun to find out.
Yes. I really didn't know like what to expect. I have my own personal family member that has dyslexia, so I kind of had an idea of what dyslexia was, but I just was so, I wouldn't say extremely uneducated, but I just didn't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And like coming from a place of like, oh, it's this, like, oh, like I will use my brother for example. I was like, he just can't read. You know what I'm saying? That's really how I took it. It's like he just needs a little bit more help than others, like learning how to read and stuff like that. And so I kind of had that like really base thin knowledge of dyslexia, and like that's, I feel like that's also what society thinks too.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't like expecting, I wasn't expecting much because I really didn't have any idea. So I was just like, this sounds interesting. It is pediatrics. And I was like, but let me come to it like very open. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me come to it understanding that I don't know everything and this is a learning experience, and I'm able to, if I have the opportunity to learn something that I'm not the most, comfortable with, like learn everything, always ask questions. And I feel like the first day when I first saw you, I was already asking you guys questions like, what is this? Like, what is the slant? Like, can you guys show me how to do that more? Can I sit in with you with this? Can I go with you here and all that stuff? And so I really didn't have an idea of it, going back to what you asked, but I knew it was something that I should have I should fully be engaged in and always ask questions and get a better understanding of what dyslexia truly is.
So this should be an interesting. Yeah. So now that you've been here, and sadly are leaving us soon. That's the worst.
That's the worst part of it.
That's
I
the
know.
worst part about. I love having students here, and I love the way a student mind approaches this kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
Like open and asking questions and just having that true. You're right. You don't know everything, but you do actually know a lot. And so watching a student come into their own and be like, yeah, actually, I do know some stuff. I don't
Mhm.
know everything, so I'm gonna ask all my questions, and I'm gonna be always curious. I love watching that journey. Obviously, I'm not your direct supervisor. Nicole is being the OT, but watching any student grow. I mean, I'm a teacher at heart, right? Of course, that's what gives me the glow. I love it. But so after you've been here and sadly are leaving, what was this field work actually like?
Um, I think I was thinking about this like on the way, like driving here, and I think in the most simplest terms, like I would say it was such a, for me, a beautiful experience because I feel like I've learned so much. Like I learned so much about being an occupational therapist. I learned so much about the role of OT and in management. I've learned the role of how to just be a good like interventionist. And I think that those are stuff that these are experiences that I would truly say like, every day is so different and
That's true.
every
Yes, ma'am.
every day is not gonna exactly go as you think it is, but to just take it for what it is and just like embrace it. That's the word I've been looking for. Like just embrace everything. Like it has been such a beautiful experience. Like just getting to know like the different practitioners and their different backgrounds and meeting the new kids and just how I came in here so like one minded and leaving like having a more open, feeling more open and comfortable about the being an occupational therapist and like learning to expand and what really OTs can do in different settings and different roles. I think that that is just such a beautiful thing that I've gathered about being here, and yeah, I could truly say like super crazy, super hectic, yes, but one for the books. Like in return, in terms of like how much I've gained, I would say like 100%. It was all worth it. It
Oh,
was, yeah.
I am
That's good to hear.
so happy.
And that's from the bottom of my heart.
Uh, I'm really thrilled to hear that. Obviously, when we accept students, right, we don't fully know what we're
Right.
getting into either, and um, it's one of the reasons I love doing it because
Right.
I feel like we learn so much too,
Correct.
and I love that about
Just the
doing this.
questions that they ask us
Yes.
and how we have to, relate what we're trying to say.
Yes, it helps us stay sharp.
It does. It really does.
Because I am a person who can very easily get in one lane.
Right.
And once I've gained that knowledge, I'm like, oh well, everybody knows that, obviously. And
That
no,
is
of
not
course
true.
they don't.
Of course
why
they don't.
why do
Yeah.
I think that? Of course that's not true.
Yeah.
So it helps me stay sharp too. Um, I am curious to know, what did you learn about literacy or dyslexia, right? So what did you learn about literacy that you would have maybe like a challenge and misconception that you had, or just a piece of knowledge that you gained by working here?
um I think how I like coordinate Ashley and her little mind is that like when you think of like literacy and reading, you just think like, I do literacy and reading in school. Like this is something for school. Like being like the trained mind is like what to read. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about it before, like using that word 100 times, like even if I haven't, like if I didn't get it the first time and I couldn't sound out like the word what, you know what I'm saying? After repeating, like seeing it multiple times, like you understand, like that's what, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I always thought of literacy as just reading. I just thought of it like just you just read and then you go on about your day and you're able to read, like cool, that's good, like you need it for like social skills. But literacy is so much more than that. Literacy is, I don't even how to I can't even describe it to you guys. But literacy is so much. It's more than your writing. It's more than your spelling. It's comprehension. It's like language. You know what I'm saying? There's little nuances that go into literacy, and I think that literacy is everywhere. Obviously, people say literacy is everywhere, but literacy is literally everywhere. And to know and actually have like the comprehension skills of it and being like, okay, I can recognize this word without like having something like, without like needing like assistance for it. That is like automatic retention is the word I'm looking for. Having automatic retention of it is like something that I think we should be like grateful for, because kids with dyslexia, like, you know, they don't have that automatic, and it takes time for them to gain those things. And can they do it? Absolutely, they can do it, right? But does it require work? Yes, it does. But it's just being like appreciative of like, you know, these words come automatic to me. It doesn't come automatic to everybody else. And I
Yeah.
think that that is like one of the one thing I would say, like I didn't really think about literacy. I was so like one set minded on literacy, is like I know for myself that I know that I can read and I can comprehend these, you know, words and stuff like that, but not everybody could do it. And that's something that you should be like happy to know that you can do, but also understand that there are people too in the world that do require assistance, and that's okay. I think when we talk about like dyslexia, I think people just thought that you were just illiterate. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They never really go into detail about like exactly like what dyslexia is, especially coming from a place of, because I'm not from here, you know, being in a whole different school system, dyslexia wasn't even talked about. And if you, we only had this one like acknowledgement of dyslexia because one of these Disney characters, I don't know if you guys know, she had dyslexia and she said it like for the world to know, and everybody just made fun of her. They're like, she cannot read. You know Bella Thorne
No.
No.
I
from
don't know
Shake It
that.
Up?
No.
No.
No, okay. So she had made I think Disney had gave her a little side ad about how she had, or it came out in the news that she had dyslexia. And everybody was like, "Oh, she just can't read." Like they were saying like so many derogative words like about her. Yes,
Really?
I'm telling you guys,
I'll have
like
to
you
look that
guys,
up now.
yes, you
Yeah.
guys have to. And this could be just like a up and coming like Gen Z thing, but that really changed the way like we all interpreted what dyslexia was.
Oh
You
my
know what I'm
gosh.
saying? And you guys probably didn't know that, but
Yeah, that missed my
it
radar.
really did like change the way that we knew what dyslexia was. And so like walking into it, I that's why I had that only one minded like, oh, it's just like people can't read and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
you know, people saying like
Interesting.
derogatory terms of it. But after seeing the kids here, like these kids are intelligent. These
Yes.
kids are sweet. They have a mind of their own. These kids are wonderful, and like having dyslexia doesn't limit them. It
Yeah.
doesn't limit who they are as people, and even if society tells them that they are less than, they're not, because they're able to understand. They have the comprehension, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's just like little things like within the brains, like maybe it's like phonemic awareness, or maybe it's like, you know, it's the little things. And I think that like being here, it really has changed my perspective like about what dyslexia is, you know? And I hope that people who are listening to it also understand that dyslexia isn't just, you know, they can't read. It's so much more. There's so many things that it down into. And I think that if us as a society do a little bit more research on it, we wouldn't have such a negative connotation on it. So
For sure. I mean, if we can get one student at a time, right? I mean, because I mean that's the beauty of this. You get to bring what you've learned here forward.
Correct.
I mean, this will not be the last place you encounter people with dyslexia because 1 in 5 people have dyslexia.
Right. And I was talking to my mom about it this weekend because I went to go and celebrate with her for her 60th birthday. And she was telling me, like, I was telling her about like what I did here. She was like, "Oh, that's so sweet, that's so nice, that's so cute and stuff like that. But did you know that your dad had dyslexia?" And I was like, "No, I didn't. I didn't know." You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know. And my mom was like, "Yeah." And she said that she was even doing her own reading up on it. She was like, like it was so much more than what I expected. But every time that you come and tell me after work, like what you've done, I go back and read it and I go back and be like, like that makes sense on why my little brother, like she was seeing different signs in my little brother, but she didn't see them in my dad because my dad he was older. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just always think about that to that moment, and I'm like, you know, okay, now we're working with something. Like
Yeah.
now we can get somewhere. So
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is a little bit fun in a way when all of a sudden, right?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of the conversations I have about dyslexia and what I do for a living, kind of a similar response. All of a sudden, people start putting some puzzle pieces together and go,
Right.
"Oh, wait a minute, actually."
This person seems like X.
Right.
And oh, wait, I wonder if that's why they did this or why they did that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you learn here about executive functioning skills?
I don't.
That's a big question.
Yeah, that
honestly.
is. It's so much more.
It's so much more.
Yeah, it's so much more. It's so much more. What I was expecting, it's your emotional regulation. It's like it's how kids process their days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's how we process who we are as people, how we navigate through life. And in OT school, we always learn the textbook version, and then they're like, "This is executive functioning," and then like we got to move on to the next topic because there's so much stuff to cover in OT school. So you know, learning the definition and then being able to apply it to a placement, yeah, it's something totally different for me personally, especially emotional regulation and how much emotional regulation ties into different things. Yeah, especially with the kids. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
Like making sure,
You've seen a lot.
yes, making sure that emotional regulation is good in the moment. It does help to, you know, say how the session is gonna go. You know what I'm saying? And if the
Correct.
kids don't have that emotional regulation, then there's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There is no task initiation. There is
right?
no
Like
working
it's a reason
memory.
we call it like the boardroom, right?
Yeah.
Like that
Mhm.
is exactly
What it is.
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm so happy to hear all the fun things that you've learned and how it's been impactful. How do you think that this kind of knowledge will apply to your future work? I mean, future work in OT, but also just your future, right?
That's a great question because each thing that I learn here, I take it and I apply it to my own family. I'm like,
Me too.
Me too.
I'm like, yeah. I tell my mom like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna call you back. You just don't feel like those emotions. They're everywhere. Like we'll go back to, and it's so interesting to see like how it like shows out in your personal lives. Like it really does open your mind up to like you said, like, wow, if this is that, you start connecting so many dots. Like, I don't want to diagnose everybody, but wow, like, I will show up really well in OT when I become a practitioner, but I think it will also show very well like as I continue my life. Because even for me, like I find myself like getting frustrated at different things, and I'm like, whew, okay, Ashley, I gotta come back. I gotta relax. I gotta like breathe in and out. Maybe I need to hug my stuffed animals. Like maybe I need to do regulation breathing. Like I just need to relax. And those things do help. Like they help a lot. Or I'm like, oh, like I need to make sure my working memory is good. I need to make sure that I could retain this information. Like let me try and do stuff that, helps enhance those things. And I think I'll definitely be able to take those with me, not just in OT, but as I move on to my next field placement. Mm.
So part of this fieldwork, you ended up in a structured literacy training, because why not? What was kind of the most interesting or eye-opening thing that you learned during that training? Because I know it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but
You had the fire hose.
yeah, you had the fire hose version. For
version,
sure.
Yeah.
right? I think that's like a common, like it was basically a 101, which I think some people will go like, oh, that's easy. No, that means you get the broadest but thinnest
Yes.
version
Mhm.
Yes.
of this training.
Correct.
And you get to go into it cold, so have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was 3 days long.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah.
So you had, here you go. Let
Yeah.
me give you all of the things really fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a lot of information to take in.
Yes.
Like it's a lot. Like
It is.
OT school, that's a lot of information, but we have a system where we could break it out. We go to school for 2 days and then we break it out. You can figure that out like the rest of the week until you see your teachers again.
Yes.
But taking all that information in and then coming back the next day and come back the next day and trying to like reapply, it was a lot. But I would say one thing that was the most interesting is about the brain
Okay.
and how the brain works with dyslexia and how it like calculates like how many things go into like how can I say this, like how many things, I don't even know what to say, I'm sorry, how many things like fall into things that we see out on the outside, how we're able to see it like structured in the brain, like how it breaks it up in the brain. That, and I will also say we talked about it too, about like Greek and Latin words.
Yes.
And how important that is, because I was like, guys, when I'm like on the computer like working, I'm like sitting back and just like thinking like, how does this all tie together? Like I don't know, I feel like an Avenger, like trying to figure out like how everything is working out, and I'm like, there is no way that I was not taught Greek and Latin words and how important Greek and Latin words are. And I remember asking Maggie that question, and I remember asking Tommy that same question, and I'm like, why? And like one day I was just like driving home, and it had clicked to me. I was like, wow, we need Greek and Latin words because it's the root for everything in the English dictionary. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it's crazy because, like I said, our educational system is very different than it is up here. But I remember my mom, like, she used to play like these phonics videos, and she would just say like A is ass, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, girl, like, can we watch something else? Can we turn on SpongeBob or something?
And she's like, absolutely not.
No, yes. Or and when you break it down, we never got the slant shows you really how to break down the words and how understanding the context of the history of it, how you're able to apply it with your students. And I think that those are things that are not taught in today's current educational system, but they are so important. They are so important. I feel like preschool you should really like learn like that stuff and then progress on, because it really does create the foundation for your school years. You know what I'm saying? It creates the foundation of, okay, I'm gonna graduate from high school, and if I choose to go to college, or if I choose to get a trade, or if I choose to start in the working force, it creates the foundation for all those things, And I think that is so important, and to see a system that works for the kids and something that the kids enjoy, and how you can make it, like, going back to, like, to the client center, like how you're able to, like, make it so that it fits the kids needs. I think it's so cool. I do. Is it a lot of information? Yes. But do I think it's doable? Yes, I do think it's doable.
Oh my gosh.
I do.
Okay, I love that we taught you anything about morphology. This is making me so happy right now.
No, I've been listening, I promise.
Oh my gosh, this is making me so happy. Any listener who's been listening for any length of time will know I love morphology. She does. So
Really, really
happy.
does.
It's so much fun.
So I guess our last question would be, what would you like our listeners to know about either our center, literacy in general, occupational therapy, executive functioning, or anything else you learned about while you were here?
Just a small question.
Just a small question.
Just a small question. This is
Yeah, I don't. When you guys are ready to expand, hit me up, because
yes.
I think every city, every state needs a dyslexia achievement center. Honestly and truthfully, like, you can see how much it really does impact the kids, and how much, having a skill service in the community helps people. And I don't know. I just think I don't know. Definitely, like I said, like, when you're ready to expand to Florida or wherever I'm at, like, hit me up and I will be opening it up. But also understand, also understanding that um people with dyslexia are just like you and I. It doesn't change about how we perceive the world. We see it the same way. Like, it doesn't mean that we're less than anybody else. We are the same. We are equal. And just because you need a little help isn't bad. I think what makes you the most strongest is the fact that you're able to ask for help and receive it and get the help, than to just sit there and just not do anything with it. I think, like, that's the most important thing. So I feel like if you see the signs and you recognize that your child is struggling, like, get them the help that they need, because you're doing yourself a disservice of not helping them than just helping them. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's hard in the beginning and this may not be something that they want to do, but they need the help, and that's what it's there for. Give them the resources, and, like, just continue to go through life. You know what I'm saying? That's why centers like this are created, because it's there to help people. And I think that is, honestly and truthfully, like, a beautiful thing. And if you can get your child help, whether that's in executive functioning or occupational therapy, I think that you should always go for it, and know that occupational therapists are here, and we are
Yes.
we are not physical therapy. We are not physical therapy, but we really do focus on things that are meaningful, and we really do care about getting people back to their daily occupations. And I think, yeah,
literacy is one of them.
yeah, literacy is one of them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
You said that very well.
You just said it so, and I mean, really, we did not prompt her.
We did
to
not.
say this
We
again.
did not. We promise we did not.
But
I'm glad that's what she learned while she was here, though.
so much,
Yeah.
so much.
She understands us.
I mean, I don't know, want to say thank you
Aw.
for
Yeah.
being here, giving us a chance, right? have had you here
Yes.
and knowing you're going to go forth and do great things
Aw.
with the with some of the knowledge you've gained here,
Right.
like that is how we grow our impact. And knowing you're going to be part of that impact just really makes me smile. Something we like to do on our show, Ashley, is we always end our episodes with what's going on in our lives beyond dyslexia. So we just like to talk about some things that, just going on kind of our more personal side, because we are actually real people in real life,
Yeah.
and not just clinicians.
Correct.
So, what's going on in your life, Miss Ashley, outside of dyslexia?
That's a lot.
Yeah, you've had several weeks.
Yeah, I
of
would
time.
say this span of this 3-week run, I would give it a 0 out of 10.
I would give it.
do not believe it. You've had everything happen to you. In the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the fact that you actually could still come here and be positive,
Right.
work with the students, and plan all the activities is a really good
Huge
skill.
kudos to you. I mean,
Yeah.
huge.
Good skill to have.
Thank you. I try. I try. Yeah, but I am sad to go. I won't lie. I am sad. I feel like I've created like a community here, and I feel like it's definitely opened up my mind to a lot of different things. It definitely has opened up my mind to see if I even want to open up my own practice, or even if me going back and thinking about considering doing pediatrics. I know, surprise. I know my mom was like listening to this. She's probably like, "I knew it, Ashley." Yeah. So in the next couple 3 weeks, I will be going to my next field placement. I am excited. I am scared.
That's understandable.
That's
I
understandable.
am very nervous because I just feel like we had such a good connection too. Like when we first, like all of us, when we all came, it was already just a good like spark. It was just like a little click, and I loved how you didn't really like, like.
Oh, you got through in.
Yeah. But you didn't. Yeah, you
came
didn't.
right with us.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like when they get into like clinicals or like placements, like their instructors, their clinicals instructors are always like, I'm the authoritative figure, like you must listen to me, like it's always ran and stuff like that. And I love how much creative freedom I was able to have here, and having a very like open, genuine conversation, like, I'm thinking about doing this intervention with this person, and how do you feel about that? And just giving me that automatic feedback to know that I could correct myself, and then be like, okay, like, she really wasn't feeling that, but that's okay. Like, I could keep going. Like, we can come up with different strategies, and I'm able to the fact that I'm able to have so much access to you and you're just so open to it, I was like, yes, wow, beautiful, gorgeous. Yeah.
So, Maggie, what's happening outside of dyslexia?
Oh my gosh. I know. Long-term listeners are going to be like, I know her answer. Her answer is all the things.
All the things.
Which is true. It is all the things.
This summer has been something.
This summer has been, I mean, absurd is definitely my word of the summer, and it continues to be so.
It really does.
As we record this, tomorrow is the first day of inserted milestone.